Hi everybody, welcome back. Asked a couple of weeks ago by Mark to do a video on heart rate. Really soft section of sand today which will help, and this is where heart rate training is certainly my preference over pace, because I say I have a pace plan of 8-minute Ks on average for the Delirious West. But just imagine I have that as my plan and I hit a section of sand like this where it starts sending the heart rate all over the place, sending it sky high. And say I hit 20k or 30k of this sand and I'm pushing to keep my 8-minute Ks. I'm just sending my body into the red, into that zone 4, zone 5. One sure thing that's going to happen is I'm going to lead to a bigger chance of blowing up. That's why old heart rate here, which you can see is hopefully 126, 124 now. So what I'll do is, for me, I've worked out 180 minus my age gives me 135, and as soon as I start getting close to that 135, what I do is I will then start to walk. And as you'll notice, combined with a hot day today and this lovely light, nice loose sand, is a combination of reasons why my heart rate will start to go sky high. Woo, wrong turn. It's been a while. The fact that my heart rate with only maybe a few hundred meters starts to go till 135 means that I know that I should be walking to keep me out of that red zone, danger zone, zone 4, zone 5, whatever you want to call it. And that if I do that, it gives me a much better way of pacing to do a 200 miler, because I know that parts of the race is going to be soft, shitty sand on trails, in sand dunes, along the beach, where I'm going to have to keep control of my efforts. And yes, I could go on the perceived effort scale of 1 to 10 and try and keep it around a 4 or 5, but I have found that very hard to do in the past, because what I perceive as a 4 or 5, especially whenever the adrenaline and everything's pumping and there's people passing you in a race and all that's going on, it's quite hard to use that perceived method. And certainly in, again, 1, 2, 4, and certainly in the past, where I know from experience warmer weather can increase the heart rate by up to 4 or 5 beats, from 4 or 5 beats up to 10 beats a minute, depending on how hot it is and how fit you are. And I also know that this soft sand, as opposed to running on a nice groomed path, as opposed to running on a hilly section of trail, you know, every difference in terrain is going to affect your heart rate. My first 200 miler I went with effort and pace. My second 200 miler, before I reviewed it, I looked back, I seen how high my effort was at the start of the race. Certainly in the first 180k, 190k, I was pushing higher than that, 6 or 7, looking at my heart rate and looking at my efforts. Could have been the sun, could have been the terrain, could have been a million things. But what I know for sure is the second year, whenever I decided, no, I'm training with heart rate, I'm gonna be very, very disciplined. I'm gonna watch it and monitor it as part of the race, because I know that that's gonna have a huge effect on how I come. Now, heart rate training wasn't new to me. I had done it for my triathlon days. Whenever I was training for Ironman and Ultraman, I did use heart rate method. So it wasn't that I didn't know the benefits of it, because I had some, for me, very successful races in the Ironman, and the fact that I was able to finish the Ultraman distance, the fact that I could finish it and actually again finish in that top third, left me that I was more than happy with the heart rate training. So it wasn't a hard decision for me to go back to the heart rate training. Some of the things that you're going to need to know for heart rate training. Just very quickly before we get into the video again, I want to thank everybody for the support this month, the comments, the likes, everybody that's hit that subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. All my long-term subscribers, don't forget, end of December, head into the new year, anybody that's interested in that coaching session, if you haven't already left your suggestion for a video, do so to be in with a shout out winning that mentor and that coaching for the month of January. It can be very, very boring. You can be spider webs. You can be training at the same pace for 10, 20, 30 weeks, and usually the way I break it up, not for this one because I only left 13 weeks to train. Usually what I would do is have a 10-week build, really low heart rate, zone kind of 1 to 2. Next 10 weeks a build phase, all zone 2, and then 10 weeks of kind of peak with say 60% zone 2 with a sprinkling of zone 4 in there for tempo, just to get the sharpness back. Now, as I say, that's on a normal training year. This year it's going to be slightly different because I haven't had that time. What I'm saying is, it's not a fancy method of training, not going to be out clocking up fast pace. It's going to be slow, it's going to be consistent, it's going to give your body a chance to get fit, give you more time to get more consistent training done, rather than go out, a couple of tough sessions, smash it, take a week off, another couple of tough sessions, smash it, take a week off, repeat. It's certainly not going to be that. What I have found with some of the clients that I have took through this process is, for the first kind of 10 weeks, it can be really, really tough to change that habit, to be more disciplined, to watch your training partners and your friends take off down the trail in front of you while you're still being very, very disciplined. So I understand, I get how hard it is. I have been there. I have been out with training with guys that you know you can keep up with comfortably, know that things are, that you are capable of doing more and pushing harder, and having to say to yourself, no, today I'm sticking with my heart rate. Once it hits that number, I'm gonna ease back, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna walk, whatever the case is. The good thing about heart rate training is it can be really tailored to suit any race. This just won't work for a 200-mile race. It'll work for 100-milers, 50Ks, marathons, 10Ks, whatever it is. Once you kind of know what your training zone should be and how to use it effectively, it becomes really, really powerful tool to use. It's really no surprise that heart rate method has been around for quite some time and has had some huge successes for some of the top athletes out there. What I have found is that for me, and certainly the majority of the clients that I coach, once they get through that first 10 weeks of controlling and being really disciplined, and once they then start to feel the benefits of being able to go with heart rate, it makes a huge difference to the way they're running. They're not feeling that heavy fatigue, they're not feeling like they can't go out the next day. Other useful information for you is your breathing has a lot to do with your actual heart rate. What I have found over the years is the more that I kind of focus and practice and work on my breathing, the more I can control keeping my heart rate lower. especially on hot days like today. I focus, big deep breath in through the nose. And I like to exhale all of that as much as I can through the mouth and really relax the shoulders, relax the muscles in the legs. You can actually feel it the more you practice it. And this will bring your heart rate down an awful lot quicker than if you are just pushing on, breathing erratic. Try and slow it down in through the nose. And big exhales out through the mouth. Huge benefit for whenever we're running. Any tight areas in your legs, your back, things like that. If you're actually breathing and focusing on that area and focusing on that oxygen getting into that area, you'll be amazed at just how much that's going to help, and also how quick it will relax your heart rate so you can get running again.